After 75 years, men and women alike still holler his name. Stranded with a dead battery or need a jump? Out of fuel? Got a flat or need a tow? Just holler for Marshall's Roadside Rescue Service. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Marshall will rescue you and have you back on the road at surprisingly little cost. No annual membership or roadside joining fees required. So for batteries and breakdowns, just holler for a Marshall. Call 1300 Marshall.
Good evening, everyone. Thursday night baseball in Adelaide here. We are the 10th inning and we are proud to bring to you this 4-game series between the Adelaide Bite and the top of the table Canberra Cavalry at the moment. It's just all systems go for the Bite. There is no tomorrow for the Cavalry. They're cruising along and they're looking at getting their first bit of playoff action. We've got a 4-game series here. We go 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and on Sunday we'll have a 1 o'clock matinee game. And I'll quickly buzz through the lineups for you here as I shuffle for my goggles. For the Bite, things continue to change. We've got Creswell at shortstop, Cakebread at second base, Lattimore centre field, Choi at first base, Welsh at third base, Paquette playing left field, Cam DHing, Roger right field, Adamson catching, Dushan Ruzic going from number 4 starter to number 1 starter as we are missing Zach Fuser, who has returned home. For the Cavalry, the almighty Cavalry, we've got Cody Hightower at shortstop, Ryan Stovall at centre field, Adam Bashini, second base. Jeremy Barnes, third base. Jack Murphy catching. Marcus Neck at left field. Michael Wells DHing. Aaron Sloan at first base. Antonia Callaway at right field. And Brian Grenning will take the mound for the Cavalry. And I welcome my co-commentator here tonight in Ben Dixon. And Dicko, great to have you along, and also a bit exciting, mate. It's do or die.
Yeah, thanks, Spurlo, and g'day to all the listeners and the viewers out there who are tuning in. We don't really need to ramble on about the equations and the what-ifs and the permutations and the combinations too much. I'm pretty sure we all know what the story is there.
We sure do, and we're just about to say g'day to the first pitch of the night as Ruzic, the big sidearm slinger, flips one down and just a fraction high. The umpire shook for a second but thought better of it for ball one. And there's a strike to even up the count. We welcome everyone from around the world. We also, especially our Australian viewers, our local South Australians who are so loyal to us at the 10th inning. And of course, a big shout out to all the Cavalry crew who are no doubt watching with great anticipation, with their team on their way to securing a playoff berth. As Hightower got a rego slider from Ruzic that was called strike and wasn't overly happy with the call, and he comes again and flips that one outside for a 2-2 count.
Hightower brings in a batting average of .333 on the dot into this series. 153 at-bats for the year. 51 hits, if you don't mind.
Oh, and in the...
As the bat goes flying, and luckily misses the spectators as the bat's retrieved by one of the Adelaide Bite interns over there. Cody Hightower.
Always an interesting one, that one, because the idea is a very nice light grip in the right up, not so much in the tops of the fingers, but certainly higher than lower, and so you can just really release and get the barrel of the bat hitting the ball as hard as possible. But of course, sometimes that occurs where it just with a bit of a not so much pine tar and a light grip, and that just flung around the corner and whipped its way into the crowd, but no damage. Benny, all good. It's Hightower again, and he swings through one and he strikes out. Excellent start by Ruzic.
Yeah, Dusan Ruzic, after his Pitcher of the Week honours last week, finds himself the Game 1 starter in this series. Zach Fuser, our usual number 1 starter and our genuine ace, as Spurlo left the country to prepare for his upcoming American season. Winter ball, I guess they call it, don't they?
And a massive shout out to the Fusers and just a lovely email from Father Mike today to us, and just saying that Zach's home and safe and well and sleeping in his own bed. And he's a happy chap and had a fantastic time here in Australia, and really enjoyed the experience. And Mike, just from our perspective, to sit up here and, as we always said, to be able to convey to you that your son was well and happy and doing a good job was an absolute pleasure. So it'd be lovely to stay in touch along the journey. Always welcome here at the 10th inning, the Fusers. So good to hear you're safe and well, Zach, and all the best in your upcoming season, as Stovall hit a meek little ground ball back to the pitcher and was thrown out at first base. And Bashini, who I'll let Benny have a bit of a chat about, takes an inside first pitch strike.
Yeah, really keen on checking out Bashini this weekend. Great weekend of ball on the cards this weekend here at Norwood Oval. Game 1 tonight. It's a full bill. We were talking off air earlier, and the bite, they've got on Friday night, tomorrow night, it's just the big night of the weekend, and then Saturday night they've got a full sellout of all the corporate facilities. As Bashini takes a ball there down and away. The favourite for the MVP/Helms Award for mine, Spello.
Well, Ben, you were reading out some of his accomplishments this current season, and you must be right around the mark because they're absolutely outstanding. As he also whiffs through a fastball well located up and out that he couldn't resist, so he strikes out. Not many times that Bashini would have done that this season. His statistics are quite amazing. But we'll have a short break and we'll return and let you know more.
Hi, I'm Kelly and this is Mark, and we are now Energy Smart.
We sure are.
We've recently updated our old ducted air conditioner with a Duct Air Energy Smart system.
And that meant we didn't have to replace our old air conditioning unit.
And now it works like a dream. It's super quiet and it saves us a ton of money.
An Energy Smart delivery system can save up to 45% on running costs and make your system perform the way you want.
And now I can use my air conditioner whenever I want.
Now that's Energy Smart.
So welcome back everyone. Beautiful Norwood Oval. It's been a fairly hot day here in Adelaide. 37, 38 degrees Celsius. So certainly just tipping over the 100 in the old scale. And for a Thursday night, it's not a bad little crowding. As Grenning starts lead off hitter Creswell. Fastball straight down the middle for strike one. And Creswell gets a fair bit of bat on that and hits it deep centre field. But cruising back on the ball, Ryan Staval takes a nice catch in warning track at straightaway centre field. One out on the bite.
That's a long out right there for one away. Grenning, he's been the number one man for the Cavalry all season. He's logged up 69.1 innings, a win-loss record of 4-2, an ERA of 2.86. A definite candidate for the Pitcher of the Year honours for the Australian Baseball League 2012-2013 this year. as Cakebread gets a promotion up into the 2 hole. Nice little 2-seam pitch right on the outside corner there for a strike. To be perfectly honest to all the viewers out there, I don't really know a hell of a lot about these Canberra Cavalry players. So let's get interactive, folks. If we pronounce any of the names incorrectly, or...
And there's a base hit by Cakebread into centre right field. Get the offence rolling for the bite. And as Benny said, if you want to be interactive with us, and we'd love to hear from you, we are live baseball at the 10thinnings.com.au. 10th inning or innings, it doesn't matter. It'll get through to the same spot. So we'd love to hear from you. Fill us in on any info. Say good day. Shout out something. And I tell you what, this Canberra Cavalry team, and at the beginning of the ABL season, the directors up top were very keen for Canberra to be more than competitive, and they gave them some strong allowances. And there's 15 imports in a 22-man squad, but that might sound all good. But one thing you've also got to do is come together and combine in this game, which is a very individual game but played in a team environment. You still needed to be moulded together and do the right things in team situations. And Michael Collins has done a terrific job with the Cavalry. And they're right up there firing. They had a little bit of a blip a week or two ago when they were swept by the Bandits. But they bounced back. And no doubt they'll be looking to bounce back a little bit further here and be on a real winning streak as they potentially head in as Lattimore gets one off the handle and pops it out to right field, where it's routinely taken out there by Antonio Callaway. So as we know, Ben, we've been offered in a team of champion names, but it doesn't always equate to great results. So they really have done a fantastic job.
Yeah, it's very true, and let's face it, the Cavalry are probably going to make the finals, or the playoffs as we like to call it in baseball parlance, and that's when the real stuff begins. As G-Man Choi comes to the plate with 2 away here in the bottom of the first innings. Choi comes into this series with an average of 296, so he's dipped below 300 for the first time this year. Choi is still probably the best producer and contributor with the bat for the bite this season. He's chimed in with 27 RBIs to go with his 296 average, 37 hits, and not bad D at first base as well. So g'day to all the Canberrians that are out there tuning in. Give us a buzz on the emails, we'd love to hear from you. No doubt baseball's alive and well, because winning puts bums on seats at the end of the day, as Cakebread tries a little delay still, and Cody Hightower gets in there a little bit late, and Cakebread in there with a head first slide for a stolen base. So a runner in scoring position for Choi here, and a little opportunity for the bite.
As we've mentioned many times over our broadcast, one of the pleasures of watching players from all around the world playing this truly international competition, as Choi gets a change up that you saw him hesitate, and he had a last minute thought that I better be swinging for this, and he just mistimed his swing and struck out. So a great effort by Grenning. and he retires the bite. So we have a 0-0 scoreline. We have top two back here real soon.
Welcome back here to the second inning at Norwood Oval. Hope you're kicking back with a nice cool beverage for those in the southern hemisphere, and for those in the northern hemisphere, maybe a hot chocolate or a cup of coffee. Hope you're kicking back and enjoying the viewing pleasure that we have for you tonight. As Jeremy Barnes is the leadoff. He's been another one of these key batters for the Cavalry this year who's just dominating, really. 342 average, 25 RBIs out of the 4-hole.
Yeah, I tell you what, they're an interesting bunch too to look at, and that's with a massive amount of respect and in good humour. But wow, they got some units. Old Murphy looks like he could have been starring in some 70s porn movies, and with a name like Hightower, and there was some just fantastic recruiting going on here, and it's come up trumps for him. But Ruzic, who has lifted after Christmas, after being handy prior, but being dominant afterwards, and he's been a massive bonus. And even tonight, that I stare down and I see him looking at me with so much purpose, and so strong in his action, that you just know that the douche is in a really good space at the moment, and throwing the ball well.
Well, Big Douche has just been named to the World Baseball Classic team. John Deeble gave him the call during the week. And what a massive privilege and honour it must be to receive that call and wear the green and gold for your country.
Oh, absolutely, and it has lifted him. I think for a guy that has been a journeyman and travelling the world, making money out of playing baseball in European countries, and he, you come home and you play for the bite, and that is fantastic. This is a terrific competition. But you just must wonder sometimes at late 20s, etc., where it's all sort of heading and what your immediate future might hold. But to think you're stepping on a plane and heading over to the World Baseball Championships potentially.
No biasness right there, but that was strike three. No biased.
Benny liked that pitch, but he'll come again. And he gets a nice fastball on the outside edge that...
Yeah, Mark Wilson is the home plate umpire tonight, and we've got Andrew Bell out there at first base, Blake Halligan at third base. So thanks, umpires. With all due respect, Sometimes umpires get them wrong. Sometimes players make errors. So I think it all evens out in the end. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
And Barnes picks a walk, and you did right.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you can't have a baseball game without players, and you can't have a baseball game without umpires. So my view is always to act as harmonious as you possibly can, and
absolutely
and professional. And
I've had a very strong feeling about it that when they step out there as well, they've got to be willing to be subject to a little bit of questioning as well, and obviously respect and within reason always. But I think if they're a bit honest with you and reply in a civilised manner, and you have a relationship, I think it just makes things a little bit easier and easier to work with. So it's not all about calling balls and strikes and safes and out. It's about being able to communicate with athletes who work very hard at their game, who also know their strike zone and really believe that most times they're right. So we tip our hats to you men as the umpiring fraternity. You really put your head down and do a great job, and as Ben said, we're lost without you, as Ruzic and Murphy gets a high pop fly, and Cam playing first base came halfway down the line and then a couple of back steps into the field of play and takes a high pop fly for an out.
So we've got one away here for the Cavalry, as we welcome the new hitter to the plate, the left fielder Marcus Knecht.
Certainly of some Eastern Bloc descent perhaps, and it'd be nice again for...
Marcus Knecht is one of the few Cavalry regulars who's hitting under 300 coming into this series.
Oh, what's going on with him?
Still hitting a pretty handy 262, which in this league's pretty good going.
And
That's some beautiful hitting there.
As our producer and wonderful man Peter Wyatt got it correct, that connected with the base hit over shortstop.
It was just a neat little swing there. He didn't try and overpower the ball. The pitch was hard in, probably about 90 miles an hour, and he just threw his hands at the ball, kept his hands inside the ball, and drove it up the middle. Textbook hitting for mine.
Textbook, mate. Doing it a bit tough and got a middle in pitch, and as you said, didn't try to do too much with it. He tried to get as much barrel on it as he could, and was good enough to lob it over shortstop's head for a base hit. And it's good to see some orange T-shirts in the crowd. The Cavalry crew are here supporting their team. There's a good little troop of 10 or 12 of them. So we welcome them here to Norwood Oval and hope they have a really terrific weekend and enjoy everything Adelaide has to offer. It's a very busy time here with the tour down under in full swing.
Well, here's a hitter who's coming up to bat, Michael Wells, who we do know. Been around for a long time.
And he gets
as he drops it, bleeder into shallow left field, which is going to go down as a safe hit to load the bases. Michael Wells just keeps getting hits.
And the Canberra people would love to know that the loudest person here in this grandstand at the moment is a Cavalry attendant. Absolutely loving it.
I am an advocate of the orange-clad Canberra fans that are in here tonight. It's a cool colour. It reminds me of the Dutch soccer team.
Yeah, you got to like it.
Which is a team that I follow over the years. Marco van Basten and Ruud Gullit.
Oh, gee, you're really digging through the archives there.
Anyway, we're here to watch and talk about baseball, not 1980s European soccer. And as we welcome Aaron Sloan at the plate, who's the first baseman tonight. Pretty big lad by the look of him.
They set well outside and he locates perfectly, and Sloan was only able to get a little tip of the end of the bat on it for a foul ball.
And Aaron Sloan's going to get a lot of friends here in Adelaide. He's the namesake of one of our Adelaide Crows' favourite sons in Rory Sloan.
Spelt a little bit differently,
but
but
slightly differently.
Hey,
sounds the same.
I'm with you. But he strikes out.
Yeah, Rory Sloan is just an absolute cult hero here for the Adelaide Crows. But again, we're here to talk about baseball, not AFL, and
not necessarily, Ben. We're here to entertain and discuss, and as we said to you before, we're also here to interact, so we'd love to hear from you wherever you may be throughout this wonderful world. Live baseball at the 10thinnings.com.au. Oh, there's a broken bat shot by Callaway up the middle and a simple little 6-4, and that retires the Cavalry. They don't worry the scorer, so we have a 0-0 ball game going to the bottom of the second. Short break. See you soon.
After 75 years, men and women alike still holler his name. Stranded with a dead battery or need a jump? Out of fuel. Got a flat or need a tow? Just holler for Marshall's roadside rescue service. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Marshall will rescue you and have you back on the road at surprisingly little cost. No annual membership or roadside joining fees required. So for batteries and breakdowns, just holler for a Marshall. Call 1300 Marshall.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the bottom of the second inning as we welcome Stephen Welsh to the plate. Steph Welsh, another Adelaide local guy who's been selected in the Australian national team to compete in the World Baseball Classic. And Steph Welsh has got his season back on track. Had a bit of a slow start, but is climbing up the rung and has 27 RBIs on the season, hitting .236. 34 hits from his 144 at-bats. Just a real durable, hard-working player, and I wish him well.
And it's so much about that attitude that the coach just puts him straight into your national side, because Steph is a true pro and he plays hard every day and he just has wonderful skills, and he really takes this game of baseball and puts his whole heart and soul into it. So to have a man like that in your squad just gives you confidence, because he can produce.
Well, he plays first base in the Australian team, but third base out here at the Bite, so he's a genuine corner infielder. As Grenning is looking pretty sharp at the moment, actually. He's got good command of quite a few off-speed pitches, and nothing's down the middle. Everything's on the edge.
That pitch had a little bit of tail and a little bit of sink as a fastball. So to also be being able to throw two-seam fastballs with some action is a great thing. And Grenning comes again and goes down the middle.
Well, she got
he
that
has
one.
got all of it. And
That's
is
a homer.
gone.
Yeah.
That ball is tagged over the right field fence.
Over the side.
I'm sure Pete will step us on out there after Welshie crosses the plate. And there's a huge placard there with a bit of advertisement for the Norwood Footy Club. And he banged it right over the top of that. That is a legit 400-foot screamer over right field. Give the Bite a one-run lead in the bottom of the second.
Great piece of hitting there. That ball was in on his hands, and a quick bat from Steph Welsh. And he drove that ball long and far to right field.
So Paquette, who's been an independent baller here playing for the Red Sox, East Torrens Paine and Baseball Club here in Adelaide. And every time he has played for the Bite, he's looked good. I'm not sure whether his numbers will totally support me in that, but this guy can play, and he gets a breaking pitch.
Well, coming into this series, Paquette's hitting 150.
Thank you, Benny, to
Nine hits from his 60 at-bats.
Swelter in my seat as I'm sitting here, as I'm just melting away as some man meant to speak with authority. But look, there's a lot to like about this guy. Ooh, he gets a fastball strike low and out, superbly located by Grenning.
Yeah, good response there from Grenning after giving up the solo shot to Welsh. Responds well with the KC on Paquette. As we welcome the new hitter to the plate, Adam Cam, I should say.
So Grenning, not an overly tall man. You might say pint-sized, but all of that little muscle and sinew just bulging as he comes again. And Cam pops one up. Left field. Cruising around there. Connect. I still would really like to know how we're meant to pronounce that name. Just nicked.
Well, we're
That's
hoping to receive some correspondence from Canberra fans or some Adelaide fans or any fans who are out there. Come and say good day to us.
Are you with us? Come on, it's hot and sweltery here. Putting a lot of heart and soul and passion into this for you. Interconnect with us. Let's have a chat. It's Grenning with just a pitch that looks straight down the middle, called ball one. As Roger gets another pitch downstairs for a 2-0 count with 2 out here, bottom of the second. The Bite via a solo slam by Stephen Welsh as Grenning delivers. And I would have thought that would have mirrored the first pitch. The only difference is that that one was called strike. So 2-1 count. He piffs one outside for a perfect hitter's count to a guy that likes to get out of his shoes.
That was a strike as well, so that's, I guess that was the even or upper from last time, that one. Because that one looked like a pretty good pitch. But it wasn't to be on this occasion, as Roger finds himself in a hitter's count. 3 balls and 1 strike. He may be swinging out of his shoes right here.
Wow, and look, again, although we're beautifully positioned here, I got to say, Murphy is a big man. I mentioned that as soon as I saw him behind the plate. He has a massive presence behind there. He's a very, very wide man, and he's just covering that plate up a little bit, and perhaps they're all just a little outside, Benny, that we're not entirely getting the angle we need. But Roger was confident, and he dropped the bat and worked his way to first base via a walk. So, Chris the Tank Adamson.
Yeah, Roger does show good patience at the plate. That's his 24th walk for the season for Angus Roger. Walk number 24.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you bat with a bit of pop. He had a couple of stellar series where he's man of the series, and he showed he's got some serious power. And the scouting would have been done, and no, hey, don't send one down the middle. He has the potential, so they're nipping and just missing. And
yeah, well, with Roger, he's actually put together a nice, neat little season this campaign, and he finds himself in a little bit of a four-man platoon at the moment, with Ben Lodge finding himself on the bench tonight, and Roger and the left fielder in Paquette getting the look tonight.
As Adamson fouls that down the right field line. And sun is set a little bit earlier than normal here, but it's just prime condition as Grenning rolls over a curveball that he hasn't come back to a lot tonight, but he got that one in when he needed it. So 1-2 count, 2 out, bottom of the second. Bite have it as Adamson, and something I've been so impressed with him, that he just continues to hang in there at the plate, and that pitch was well located fastball, snatching the black, but he sat and waited for it, and although he drove it foul, he's not getting out in front, and he gets a breaking pitch that he hung again but only could flay the bat on it. And he hit a one bouncer back to Grenning, who does the job himself, retires the bite, who take the lead 1-0 via a massive blast by Welsh. We'll see you back here, top three, real soon.
Welcome back, viewers, to the great ball game that we've got here at Norwood Oval tonight. 1-0 ball game. Top of the fourth. Big Jack Murphy up to bat. Dushan Ruzik on the hill. Average height of about 6'6", maybe. G'day to all the baseball fans out there tuning in tonight. Hope you're kicking back, doing what you're doing, maybe some Australian Open viewing at the same time. Multitasking. Enjoy the baseball. It's a big game tonight in the context of the 2012-2013 season. Canberra, of course, very keen for that top spot. And the Adelaide Bite just hanging in by the skin of their teeth. We're not too concerned about the different equations and combinations and permutations. All we're really worried about is tonight's game. The all-important game one of tonight. The payoff pitch is fouled straight back towards the footage there on your computer screen. So the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. To Jack Murphy, the switch hitting Jack Murphy. Oh, a little flare there, just going to drop in for the lead off aboard, and the Canberra fans actually starting a wave over there, a 2-man wave. Obviously Jack Murphy fans. Judging by the look of him, I can see why. He's a pretty cool looking dude. So the Cavalry with the lead off aboard have a chance here to maybe play a little small ball. Don't really know much about their style of play. Bit of an unknown quantity, the Canberra Cavalry, with their imports. As Marcus Necht pops one up, which Cam mishandles. But nevertheless, Ruzik cleans up the work and throws it over to Creswell for the first out of the inning. So Adam Cam there. Luckily there was a runner on first base for him, because he ended up getting well, there's no error there, so... Or maybe he does get an error for that. If any of the viewers out there, any of the listeners would like to let us know, does Adam Cam get an error for that? Live baseball at the 10th innings. They both work.com.au. How is that scored in the scorebook? I'd like to know. As Michael Wells comes to the plate. Nice looking compact swing there from Wells, who's putting together a pretty good season with a 265 average, which is pretty good going in this league. 16 RBIs coming into this series, two home runs, 39 hits. That's probably about how old he is. He's got as many hits as he has years old, Michael Wells. So props to you, mate. Still playing at the major league level of Australia. Don't want to give him too much props though, because tonight he is from the visiting Canberra Cavalry, and we are the home Adelaide Bite. As we welcome back Andrew Spurling to the commentary booth. Proprietor of the business Sauce Spurling Office Solutions, one of the sponsors of this broadcast. So thanks, Spurlo, for your input, mate. Much appreciated, and good work all season long.
Yeah, that's very nice of you. If you are in the market for any office furniture of any description. specialises in helping you from basic concept and design to going the full distance and completing office fit outs.
Your screen compliments of SA Cavalry.
Thank you, Ben. As I was talking into a microphone that wasn't on, it's just showing enormous experience. He gets one off the handle, Wells. And Creswell was agile enough to, with 4 quick backward steps, to bound his way back and take that little flare before it landed.
So give us a plug, Spurlo, about your business.
Yeah, well, Sperling Office Solutions is a business that helps you with all things office commercial furniture, and we work from concept and design through to the final fit out, and my good self follows things all the way along the line to ensure that we are on track. And I have some wonderful corporate customers out there in Bridgestone Australia and Anglicare, the University of Adelaide, Women's and Children's Hospital. So I have some fantastic customers who support us strongly, but yeah, it's a business where I'm very passionate, as I've shown before, about local manufacturing. So I really support our local manufacturing base here. I think it's very important that we make decisions, especially in the corporate world, based along those lines. To use imported furniture manufactured in China just simply doesn't make sense. So if you're supporting Sperling Office Solutions, you'll also be supporting our local manufacturers. And you have another great man out there in page 6 is Peter Wyatt, my co-man in the 10th inning. And he's a great web designer and graphic designer. So if you're also in the market, as Sloan gets one long, deep, left field, a 2-run bomb to Sloan, our man, the Sloanster. And he's done some damage in top 4 here and put his team 2-1 ahead.
Yeah, well done, Sloan. One of our favourites. We love Sloaney. That's his 2nd home run for the season. For Sloaney.
Well, he picked a good time with a man on and with his team down by 1. He gives his side a 1-0 lead as the score goes to 2-1.
I'd be stoked with that, Sloaney. He'd be stoked. He's just given his team some important runs, and he's putting his batting average just over 200 for the season. So well done, mate.
Certainly, as is the case in Major League Baseball, batting statistics often float in the 200s. But they know when the heat is on and when the battle is at its maximum that they'll have a very strong competitor in there, and that's what we saw then with Sloan, that only bringing up his 2nd home run for the season, but what a time to do it as Callaway pops one up. Second base calls Cam out, basically standing on first base, and with a wry smile, Josh Catebread takes the catch, retires the Cavalry, but they take a 2-1 lead. We'll be back bottom 4 very soon.
After 75 years, men and women alike still holler his name. Stranded with a dead battery or need a jump? Out of fuel? Got a flat or need a tow? Just holler for Marshall's Roadside Rescue Service. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Marshall will rescue you and have you back on the road at surprisingly little cost. No annual membership or roadside joining fees required. So for batteries and breakdowns, just holler for a Marshall. Call 1300 Marshall.
Welcome back, everyone. Norwood Oval as Paquette has a swing and a miss at a first pitch by Grenning. Absolutely thrive on that little bit of run support by his team as he piffs a change up outside that bounces into the glove of Murphy for ball one. We apologise about the little indifferences we've had with our telecast at the moment. Pete working furiously to sort through, and I believe we're back on track. So again, we apologise. Nothing more frustrating than settling in and things aren't exactly going according to plan. But it's very hot here, and that may be some of the reason on a Thursday night here in Adelaide. Or maybe it was just the furious amount of people logging on to the 10th inning to watch this telecast that might have blown things apart. So let us know how things are going. We'd like to know whether we're being received loud and clear and everything's on track. As Paquette, it's a long, hard ball, right field. Bounces into the fence. He's legging it to second base and stands up for a double. Ethan Paquette. It's a double to right field. So Adam Cam takes one down the middle, strike one. There's our old 130 hitter in Paquette. Bounce one off the right field fence for a double.
Well, he was due then, wasn't he?
I suppose you might say he was overdue, Benny. But he got the job done. And he puts himself in scoring position with none out in the bottom of the fourth. With a couple of decent situational type hitters in Cam and Roger behind him. And Cam gets one inside that he didn't want to take on the elbow because it would have hurt way too much. So he evades and he takes it for a 1-1 count. Grenning gets one. Started out and went further and was just too enticing for Cam. He swings through it. There's a dying change-up. It's been a good pitch for him tonight, especially against Choi.
Well, what Cam's trying to do here is just trying to move his runner over.
Oh, he puts a funny sort of swing on that. And I suppose at the end of the day, if you're asking Cam with none out to move his runner across to third base, there's one way of doing it.
Yep. What will happen now is Cam will get back to his dugout and he'll get a little tap on the backside from his teammates, because at the end of the day it's a team game and you got to do team things, and what he just did was a team act. So the show rolls on and there is a runner on third base with one out, with Angus Roger up to bat. Looking forward to this battle between Grenning and Roger. Roger's shown some good pop this season. Coming to this series, Roger's got 22 RBIs, 8 home runs.
And he pops one up
And that's not
right
the
into the centre of the diamond. And Sloaney, our man, rolls onto the mound. Not to throw any action, but to receive an infield fly from Roger for the second out for the Cavalry here in the bottom of the fourth. And what seemed a promising little affair, all of a sudden with 2 out and man on third. Grenning again good enough to do what he has to do.
So Adamson here with 2 outs, looking for a 2-out RBI. A 267 hitter for the season, 12 RBIs. 32 hits from his 120 at-bats. So pretty good numbers there from Adamson from your catcher.
Well, this game is also about opportunity, and at the start of the year he was platooning with Dylan Child in the catching. They were going game for game, both doing fine jobs. Dylan, with a professional contract, had a couple of little niggles, and he thought that he should be just taking care of his body, and he's had a little bit of a break, and it left all of the action to Adamson as he gets a pitch outside that he swings at for a 2-2 count, 2 out. Paquette on third for the bite. Cavalry leading at 2-1. He's grinning again, just fires in a fastball. Wow. Murphy did not move. Maybe just setting up a 3¼ millimetres outside of the plate, and that's exactly where it went. And Wilson saw it exactly like that and called ball. 2-2 count. Again, a nicely located outside fastball. It's fouled onto Cooper's Hill. So one of those little moments in a game here. The bite who had the lead and then lost it and get a chance is Adamson again, just showing some strength in the batter's box to hang tough, watch the ball hard, anything close, get in there and get some bat on it. Grenning again comes in and is a shot up the middle. He scores Paquette. Excellent at bat by Chris Adamson. Hung tough all the way through. Worked a heavy count. Got one down the middle and banged a ground ball straight back through the pitcher. Excellent hitting.
Yeah, spot on there, Spurlo. Those 2-out RBIs, they almost should be worth 2 extra. You should get a bonus RBI for the 2-out RBI because there's less opportunities to drive them in because there's 2 out, obviously. So, yeah, top stuff. As we welcome the original leadoff hitter in Jeremy Creswell. Spurlo, did you know that Creswell notched up his 100th career ABL hit last weekend?
I didn't know that, and I'm absolutely stoked to hear it because he's a real gem.
Yes, and that's right. He was the first Adelaide Bite player to reach the 100 hit mark. He's probably about the 5th in the whole league to reach that. This is the 3rd year of the ABL, of course, and I think the first guy to reach 100 hits was James McCowan from the Adelaide Bite and Perth Heat, and then the other guys are Mitch Denning and Josh Roberts and Creswell, so he's in pretty good company.
He sure is. He hits a ground ball to Barnes at third base, who fires one over to Sloan, retires the bite, and then a good piece of clutch hitting by Adamson with an RBI single up the middle. He gets a run for the bite, makes it a 2-all ball game. We've got a very tight little game rolling on here. We'll be back in a moment, top 5. See you in a sec.
Top of the fifth, Southern Island. Now batting shortstop, Cody Hightower.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the top of the 5th inning at Norwood Oval. Very pleasant evening. It's a very good crowd in here for a Thursday night. It's a good sign for things to come for this series. As Cody Hightower leads off for the 3rd time tonight as the original leadoff in a 2-all ball game. What do you think of Cody, Spurlo?
I was just thinking about Cody then, and I was just reminding myself of that police academy with Hightower, with the guy that made all of the vocal noises and all of that, and I'm wondering whether Cody's any relation to that chap. That I know it'd nearly be an impossibility, but yes, look, I'm kidding with myself. But no, look, very impressive. As you said, just a genuine ball player. I mean, any guy at that size that plays shortstop, obviously very agile. It's a very high pop fly to Roger at right field, who accepts the catch.
Yeah, it's pretty cool coming out here on a nice summer's evening to check out all these pros play. And I know in the baseball community there's a bit of talk going around at the moment that most of the people are pretty keen to get out here this weekend and see what's going on. I'm expecting a big crowd here tomorrow night. Biggest for the season, I'm predicting tomorrow night, Spurlo.
Oh, look, I don't think it might beat Saturday night, Ben, but
Saturday night, okay.
I'm sort of certainly there's a game on pre this one, and there's a little broken bat flare, little line flare to shortstop Cakebread for an out on Stovall. So yeah, the old timers are setting on out there tomorrow from perhaps about 4:30, 5 o'clock to put on a bit of a display and see how many hamstrings and calf muscles and that they can tear in an hour and a half. So that should be really fun if people want to come out and see some real legends of the past of SA baseball. That all sorts of guys will be rolling around in that. This is a nice base hit by that man Bashini, getting it done again.
Bashini, the hitting machine.
Nice, Benny. Yeah, but what a good pickup he's been. We've seen many people come and go.
Well, they do such a great job here, the Adelaide Bite. Nathan Davison, the general manager, couldn't get a better guy for the job. Mike Murray, the main intern that's out here. They've just put on a good show. Full bill this weekend. Ladies' night tonight, so there's a few ladies out and about having their wines and their champagnes.
And I just got a little update for you here from one of our great men in Daryl Harper, who is an international cricket umpire, but now works as a referee in international games, and he's in Sydney to referee a Sheffield Shield match, and he found his way to Rooty Hill. He's watching Blue Sox and the Bandits. The Blue Sox are 5, Bandits 1 after 5. Bit of a paltry crowd, he said. Great venue. Happy calling. Really good to hear from you, Darryl. We'll have a short break. We'll see you very soon.
Hi, I'm Kelly and this is Mark, and we are now Energy Smart.
We sure are.
We've recently updated our old ducted air conditioner with a Duct Air Energy Smart system.
And that meant we didn't have to replace our old air conditioning unit.
And now it works like a dream. It's super quiet and it saves us a ton of money.
An Energy Smart delivery system can save up to 45% on running costs and make your system perform the way you want.
And now I can use my air conditioner whenever I want.
Now that's Energy Smart.
So here we are, folks. Right back at you and right back with you. Is Grenning to lead off Cakebread, who's having a big night. Single to centre right, and then a shot to centre field. Josh Cakebread is having a big night, but he just looked up at me and said, "Spell, shut up," as he rolls over on one and hits a ground ball to second base. So he's out for the first time tonight on a 4-3.
Just looking at Bashini over there playing second base, he was a pretty smooth looking dude, but big sort of second baseman, you'd say. I wonder if that's a future major leaguer we're watching out there.
Well, Ben, he's really lit this league up this season.
I actually know nothing about the guy. I've never even heard of him until about 5 hours ago, to be honest with you, until I looked down at the stats that I printed off from the ABL website at work this afternoon.
Well, okay, you know, and you're absolutely correct. Sometimes we look at statistics and get a bit carried away, but no, he's been really impressive, and he's just leading the competition in RBIs by 30%.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. And there's nothing like watching a player with your own eyes. And I've been watching him the way he goes about his business, and he looks pretty good. Like, he's as good a baseball player I've seen play at Norwood Oval, I reckon.
Well, and you might have just heard that bang as a foul ball from Lattimore hit the roof right up above us at the top of the Norwood Oval grandstand here, the very famous Norwood Oval, one of the most established grounds in South Australia, as Lattimore gets an outside pitch by Granning, and he leans on it and tries to work it into the field of play, but hits it foul down the right field line.
Yeah, that's spot on with Norwood Oval, Spurlo. And to any of the local South Australians watching the footage tonight, we really do encourage you to turn off your computers and actually come out here and watch the game. It's a great experience. Very well organised.
Whoa. And he tries to hits one off the handle, and it looked like it was working its way to right field. But that man Sloan, he's wearing a Superman outfit tonight. He's doing it all. He took a nice, well judged on a bit of a flare leaping catch, and he retires Lattimore. So Choi strides to the plate. No doubt eager to get the barrel of the bat on one. Because
Choi's in a slump, actually. He was up around the 350 mark a couple of months ago. Now he's dropped under the 300 mark, and he's struck out in his first couple of plate appearances tonight. So the man's in a slump.
Yeah, and you can even, just a little bit with the, the shiftiness and the movement in the box. It's more eagerness, is that he's not happy where he is and what's going on. And he wants to fire his way out of it as soon as possible. So he just missed a pitch that he thought he could handle. And his weight again was just shifting a little bit towards first base and not staying over the plate, which is important for a hitter, to keep their head down and over the ball for as long as possible. And Grenning's had his number with a couple of change-ups tonight, but he tried it again and left it up for ball two. So 2-2 count, no one on, 2 out, bottom 5, and again with a half-hearted swing, and I do apologise, my men on the board over there putting the wrong count up for me. Perhaps I should have my own counter and be doing it myself, but a little embarrassing when you call a 2-2 count and the guy swings and misses and he's still in there. But that's what we have. So Granning to Choi. He lays off another superb little change up that, again, just tailed and sunk.
Good pitch.
Great pitch.
Yeah,
I mean,
pitch.
Choi getting a little more frustrated as it goes along, but he strikes out. We'll have a short break. Hope you're enjoying things. Let us know how we're going out there. We're always open for criticism. We'll see you. Let us hear from you. Live baseball, 10thinnings.com.au. See you in a moment.
Yes, welcome back to Norwood Oval. Hope you're having a pleasant evening.
He says that so sternly when he comes back in. Welcome back to Norwood Oval. As Cake Bread assists Ruzic, who gets a comeback from Murphy up the middle that he deflects, and Cake Bread right on it tonight. He's like a tiger tonight at second base.
Well, Cake Bread's looking confident. He's looking confident in the field and he's looking confident in the box. And as we know, a lot of this game is built around confidence, so you can get that recipe right, good things can happen.
Well, I've never known a guy, when you're 2 for 2 to start a game, that you're not feeling confident. You're generally riding pretty high and believe that you're bigger than the game sometimes and you're invincible. And just as we're shown with a quality act like G-Man Choi, he typifies quality, and he's in a little bit of a slump, and it gets to the best of us. Nothing better than, regardless of safe hit or not, but just to hit one right in the middle of the bat, just to give you that little bit of restore that confidence. Bit of a yell out to the Kelly clan if they have arrived safely in LA and tuning in. To Pat and Rebecca, Charlie and Jacko. We'll miss you here in Adelaide and hope that you're settling in and finding your feet and over your jet lag. So there's Ruzic up and ready to roll. As I said, if there's one bit of body language that you can tell by Dush and Ruzic, when he's up and he's running, he is staring you down on that mound and he is ready to go. He could nearly be accused of fast pitching on occasions, but you know when he's really rolling, and he's on fire tonight. Very tight little ball game, an excellent head-to-head with Grenning. He gets a slider, gets a backdoor slider going, which is a very important pitch for him. And he comes again to Wells, who gets one off the handle. And Welsh receives and gets one over to Cam at first base. Retires the Cavalry, completes the top of the 6th. Again, we'll have a short break. We're running some ads in between for a couple of our special sponsors. We'll say goodbye for a moment.
After 75 years, men and women alike still holler his name. Stranded with a dead battery or need a jump? Out of fuel. Got a flat or need a tow? Just holler for Marshall's Roadside Rescue Service. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Marshall will rescue you and have you back on the road at surprisingly little cost. No annual membership or roadside joining fees required. So for batteries and breakdowns, just holler for a Marshall. Call 1300 Marshall.
Leading off with the Adelaide Light, their baseman, Sam Welsh.
Welcome back, baseball fans. Got a great ball game here tonight for you. Hope you're strapped in and enjoying the ride with us.
And what a ride it is. Again, it's just such a pleasure. I've been really looking forward to seeing the Cavalry here in Adelaide. Obviously, the hype that has surrounded them from very early in the season has continued to grow, and the mystique of the Canberra Cavalry was something that I wanted to witness firsthand, and I've got such a pleasure to be sitting here and bringing these games to you as Grenning disposes of our number one hitter in Stephen Welsh with ease. And both starters just doing a wonderful job as we roll into the bottom of the 6th here, and neither of them look like finishing too soon. There is no activity in either pen. And Grenning gets Paquette rolling over on a breaking pitch and hits a routine ground ball to third baseman
Jeremy Barnes.
Thank you very much.
Well, what the Cavalry have is that they have, the Cavalry have good hitting infielders. That's what they have. Their second baseman and their shortstop and their third baseman, they're two-way guys. They can pick it and they can hit too. Very evident tonight with these guys. And a lot has to go wrong for the Cavalry to miss the playoffs this year, so a long time between drinks for the Canberra baseball fraternity to witness some playoff ball. I know we mentioned the Canberra Bushrangers that had a crack in the mid-90s, and then the Australian provincial team. Mainly Canberra guys played in the Claxton Shield in the noughties before the new ABL was reborn. And now here they are, the Canberra Cavalry on top of the table. And here we are on the game one of a very important 4-game series in the last round of the ABL season.
Cam just hoiks one around the corner. routine put out by Sloan. And we roll on with a 2-all ball game. We complete 6. Little bit of activity in the Cavalry pen. We'll update you when we return. We'll see you in a second. This 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Fielder's Choice, official baseball store of Australian baseball. Visit www.fielders.net for all of your baseball, softball and T-ball equipment needs. So welcome back everyone, pleasure to have you with us. Hope you're enjoying things on this wonderful Thursday evening. We're still in sort of half holiday mode at the moment, but life will resume as normal very soon, although this is a terrific time of the year with Easter to look forward to and another little break, all the workers, and then we settle in for the winter months and us massive Australian rules football followers come out in droves. But here we are at Norwood Oval, top 7.
They play the odd AFL game at Canberra at Manuka Oval, I reckon.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. North Melbourne play quite a few games there, and obviously Sydney, and trying to promote the Sydney teams as much as possible and give them, the Canberrians, as much exposure to AFL. They've produced some wonderful footballers, the ACT. Often a very transient sort of population. All of our government, major government system, all flowing from the ACT, the Australian Capital Territory.
And they've got a pretty handy ball club as well.
Yeah, they certainly have this season, and sometimes you've got to take your chances when they're given to you, and you sense that this is a year that the Cavalry, especially with the shortened finals where it's only top 3, top team will go straight through, second and third will play off to play them.
As our boy Sloaney's having a pretty good lead off at bat here against Ruzik, who's pitching into the 7th inning at Norwood Oval. Game 1, 4-game series. Yeah, Sloaney's our boy. Of course, the namesake of one of our favourite players, in Rory Sloane from the Crows. And he's having a pretty good night. He's playing solid D and he's hit a bomb. A 2-run bomb, no less.
Having a pretty good night. I'd say he's having an awesome night. And I just put the old commentator jinx on him as he strikes out.
That's why we put it on him. I do make no apologies for being a Bite supporter. I mean, we come up here and we try and give an unbiased view, but at the end of the day, this is our ball club, and we'll cheer for our team, but we'll be fair and reasonable. Absolutely.
I mean, we're sport lovers and baseball lovers, and we just call it as we see it. This is such an interesting game where you have to battle through a lot of indifferent moments. In baseball, I think without doubt is the game requiring the most mental stability and toughness, because it's a game where you constantly fail, really, if that makes any sense at all. Certainly offensively as a hitter, if you bat 300, you succeed 3 times out of 10, which means you fail 7 times out of 10, and failure can come with line drives to fielders and ripping one around the corner, and third base makes a great play and fires you out. So all of those sorts of things just make you stay strong and stay firm in your beliefs that you are good enough. And it's just a wonderful game to test your strength. As we have a pop-up by Callaway, and Cam takes it in the infield at first base, and Ruzic just rolls along.
Yeah, Ruzic and Cam shared a little bit of love there after that one. Cam looked more comfortable taking that one than he has in the another couple of chances earlier, but nevertheless, there's 2 away. Cody Hightower is up to bat. He's had a 0 for 2 night. He's looking to get his first hit for the evening and maybe start a 2-out rally for the Cavalry. As he takes ball inside. A fastball in.
And as has been the case with most genuine pitchers in this league, they've been able to have the ability to throw inside, and it's a massive asset for a pitcher. Often just a little bit unwilling to work too much inside in case of hitting batters. But when you can locate just like that with a heavy fastball taking black inside, it nearly is an impossible pitch to hit. Takes a man with amazing speed of feet and hips to open and release and let hands get in there, and he slides one for strike 2. Some quality pitching by Ruzic, working strongly into the 7th here. 2-2 count, 2 out. Lead off Hightower at the plate. We have a 2-all ball game. Hope you're enjoying it. Thought we might have been hearing from a few more Canberra people out there. The Cavalry, you're either half asleep or still doing the books in such a vibrant town. But it's time to put the books down now and focus on this ball game. But more importantly, get on that old computer and get onto live baseball at the 10thinnings.com.au and let us know what you're thinking of things as he gets one inside, and another well-located pitch, and all he can do is pop it up to third base. Steph Welsh takes the catch, retires the Cavalry, and we'll have a 7th inning stretch. Go and refresh yourself. This 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Fielder's Choice, official baseball store of Australian baseball. Visit www.fielders.net for all of your baseball, softball and T-ball equipment needs. So welcome back, everyone. Bottom 7, 2-all ball game. And in the heat of the night, in the heat of the battle, there's a little bit of expectation around the place at the moment, and the Cavalry make a pitching change and bring out Dustin Loggins, who, as Ben was rolling through with me in the break, part of a very successful pen this year, and he immediately gets a pitch located where he wants and gets a little meek little ground ball to first base Sloan, and he gets an out.
Yeah, here we find ourselves in a tight ball game, 2-all. High leverage situation. So the high leverage man in Loggins is out. He's been summoned from the manager, Michael Collins. How's he gone so far this year, Spurlo? We've got some stats here on Loggins.
I have. He hasn't done a whole heap of work. He's only thrown 20 digs. He's ERAing at 2.21. He's had a save. He's had 3 holds. He's just been solid. Just as you mentioned with regard to their whole pen, they've been very, very professional.
But have a look at this though. He's had 28 strikeouts over his 20 innings.
Wow.
So he's a power guy.
Yeah, he is, and he's a bit funky.
He's a side armour.
He is. He gets down and low, and he delivers some good pitches, and he gets when he drops down and then throws a breaking pitch, it obviously comes from a whole different location, and that was what worked for him there, as Adamson got one breaking pitch a little up and a little in and dying, but he committed to swing and got one off the handle and flew one out to left field.
Yeah, the Canberra Cavalry, they pulled the trigger on Grenning after 6 complete innings with a 2-all scoreline. So I think they're thinking about the bigger picture more with Grenning, because the Cavalry looking like figuring in the games next week, so they want to keep their number 1 guy ready to go.
Absolutely, but ultimately, if you have a pen and it's functioning, this is how you use it. You started with a solid 6, you go to your setup men, and you bring in the closer.
Yeah, so pretty stock standard sort of work here from Collins. But when you got the cattle, it helps as well.
Well,
right?
it's all reliance upon it. It's as simple as that. If you don't, you tend to stretch that starter a little bit longer. Your decision making becomes paramount, and obviously everyone's on board at the Cavalry.
And we can see here just by watching the game, they've got some fair cattle to run out here at Norwood Oval. Here you go. This is what we've got to offer. What do you got to offer? And then you go head to head.
Absolutely, and in contrast to that, as that pitch missed by the proverbial, and Murphy, daytime baseballer, part-time movie man, was moving back to the bench thinking he had a strikeout, but he didn't. But he ends up with another great pitch. Gets Creswell ripping one around the corner for a routine 5-3. And the Cavalry gallop on. We'll have a short break. We'll see you in a second.
Ryan Stovall, the lucky lead-off here in the top of the 8th inning. He's a speedy guy. Steph Welsh at third base. He'd have to be on his toes here, which I'm sure he is. As Ruzic delivers the first pitch of the 8th inning for strike one, right down the eye, diddle diddle. Stovall taking all the way there. As Welsh, the third baseman, retreats back to normal playing depth with 2 strikes on the hitter. Hope you're enjoying the footage tonight. It's a great game. 2-all. Great pitching. Nicely handled at second base by Josh Cakebread. Collects the ball on the half volley. As Ruzic retires Stovall for the first out. He's been very efficient the last few innings, Ruzic. The Canberra Cavalry haven't had any base runners for a while. He's only given up just the 2 runs, a 2-run bomb to our man Sloaney. And Ruzic's just had a quality start, taking over his good form from Melbourne last week, where he won the Pitcher of the Week honours. Elevating himself to Game 1 starter in the absence of Zach Fuser, who's returned back to his native country, the USA. So that's 2 away here in the top of the 8th. And we have a defensive replacement, Ben Lodge, out at left field. Takes that catch very comfortably. Ball 1 from Ruzic. Slider inside to the number 4 hitter, and Jeremy Barnes, the third baseman. He's looked pretty good over at third too, Spurlow, I thought. Barnesy?
Yeah, big stocky unit and doing a good job.
Yeah, he's got nice feet. He's got nice hands, nice feet. Accurate throw. But he's a stud.
Plenty of pedicures and manicures. He's doing okay. No, that's right. In baseball speak, that's exactly right. And all infielders often have very nice moving feet and very soft hands. You generally know an infielder very quickly when you see them. And yes, he's doing a wonderful job. And at the moment, there's not too many people out there that aren't doing a pretty good job. It's a very tight ball game, and it's going to come down to somewhere, something, sometime. Whoever can take an opportunity, whoever can create an opportunity. And I do apologise to my Cavalry contingent out there. That ball hit hard, but Creswell's a class act at shortstop, and Barnes smoked that one to shortstop. But Creswell received it well and fired him out. That retires the Cavalry. We complete the top of the 8th. We'll have a short break and we'll see you in a moment. How's this for a great offer? Duck Dare is offering a free upgrade to their university tested and fully labelled Energy Smart system to all baseball fans. All you have to do is mention Tony Mazzini, Mutz, or even the 10th innings to your local Duck Dare dealer. Duck Dare's Energy Smart system is the only system that has been tested and proven by the Uni of SA to save you huge amounts off your power bill and increase the comfort in your home. All this from an SA owned and operated carbon neutral company. Now that's Energy Smart, and that's a great offer.
Second baseman, number 6, Josh Cavalry.
So welcome back, everyone. This game steams on and the Cavalry are very much a part of that, and we do apologise from here. Again, we be given team sheets, and number 45 is Dustin Loggins, but it looks like that Brodie Downs is wearing his shirt. So again, we sincerely apologise and thank you to our great Canberra men in telling us that we had erred.
We actually did it on purpose because we wanted someone to send us an email. So it was actually, nah, just kidding. That's not true. As the informed Josh Cakebread leads off the bottom of the 8th. Tight ball game. Must be an advantage being a left-handed hitter facing this right-handed slinger from the side. Get a better angle on it.
And a very apologetic to Vicky as that ball is hit in a difficult spot for Hightower to handle, and Cakebread picks up his 3rd hit for the night with an infield single. And Vicky, that you were trying to tune in, and we do apologise, we had a bit of a glitch and a little bit out of our control, and you wanted to watch Brian Grenning pitch. We were his host parents in 2011 when he played for the Gary South Shore Rail Catson, the American Association. So that's a mouthful, Vicky. But I'm sure he did very well, as there's a attempt at a very difficult double play, but they did the job on a attempted bunt by Lattimore.
That was a heads-up play there from the 3rd baseman in Barnes, as you saw there on the footage, courtesy of the 10th inning here tonight. Barnes just fielded the ball and flung it straight away to the second base general area, and Cody Hightower, the shortstop, was the one who had to put out at second base. So very, very heads-up play from the Cavalry. Keeps them in it.
Sure was, and we got a little visit here.
And what about the go-go gadget arms of Hightower there? That throw was a little bit wide, and his arms managed to get the put out at the second base. So how does that get scored in the scorebook? A 5-6. That's a funny one. The old 5-6 Spurlo.
Well, most unusual play, Ben, especially with the depth of the ball, which brought the 3rd baseman to well in the catcher's half. So to be able to get in there and then fire to shortstop and beat a runner either says that poor old Josh didn't get a great read on things and that good a jump.
Well, ultra impressive, because the number 3 hitter in Lattimore was the guy who laid down the bunt. And probably not a guy who's probably done a hell of a lot of running bunts in his life. He's more of a power guy, and Barnes was one step ahead of him at the end of the day, because he pounced on the ball really quickly. He anticipated it, and he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was going to do before the ball came his way. So what a real top play by the 3rd baseman.
And we welcome to everyone who perhaps should be tuning in Adelaide at the moment after their night of training and regulation, couple of drinks afterwards, and a good little smack around between the group of who's going to do what and who did what, and all the things that make Thursday night at Baseball Club such a fantastic night. But now hopefully everyone's home and got a nice cup of coffee or whatever tickles your fancy by your side, and you're tuning in here in the bottom of the 8th, and we've got a ball game on our hands. The old Cavalry are rolling through the pen at the moment. We've got Steve Kent replacing Brodie Downs. So we go from a tall right hand down low pitcher to a more regulation lefty.
With a couple of lefties to come up. So Michael Collins is playing the game of baseball very clever at the minute.
Running it right by the book.
And poor old G-Man Choi is struck out in his first 3 at-bats today.
Yeah, look, I haven't seen this from G-Man, and it's in some respect, is obviously not what we're after, but from purely a sporting perspective, it's good to see such a high-quality athlete under a bit of pressure, and as we know, we're all pretty good when we're out in front and rolling, but we're truly tested when things aren't really going our way, and that's what's happening with G-Man at the moment. And he holds off on a pitch, and you know, they're the little things, Ben, that can make such a difference. He swings at that and gets down on himself, but he made a good decision and check swinged at a crucial time. Took a pitch down low for ball 1. And in a very similar swing tonight, with head rearing to right field and pulling the bat through, he swings and misses at another pitch tonight. So with the runner on, 1 out, Kent getting one down and in, ball 2 on Choi. And there's a nice pitch by Kent, just a controlled fastball. Knew the importance of him, of the situation to get a strike. So he used all of his experience and mechanics to get it right and deliver. And that's exactly what he did. 2-2 pitch. And he snicks one to the net, and again, just wait. Transferring just a little bit too early out of the box on these swings from Choi, who has been complimented and was signed on his ability to keep the barrel of the bat through the strike zone for long periods. Kent again delivers. He strikes Choi out. It's his 4th punch out for the night.
So out number 2 for the Cavalry. Steve Kent disposing of Choi there. Not a bad at-bat. The thing with baseball, though, talking about Choi with his 4 strikeouts, you never know. This game might go to the bottom of the 10th or bottom of the 11th, and he might hit a walk-off home run, and then no one will remember the 4 strikeouts, would they?
Exactly, Ben, and that's the absolute beauty of this game. Is that you can be a dead set chump, and you can be in the right place at the right time and deliver, and all is forgotten. But right at the moment, Kent's got a job to do, and Welsh has got that long and hard centre right field. That ball is gone. Stephen Welsh hits his 2nd bomb for the night. Puts the Adelaide by 2 runs up, leading at 4-2. Wow, what a class act this guy is. Number 22, Stephen Welsh, AA player for the Orioles, and a local produce. And the crowd has come alive. Just some wonderful hitting by Welsh, middle in. Just got his mechanics correct and got his hands out there and just punched that one straight over the SA Power Network sign at centre field. And this game has come to life.
Yeah, very timely home run there for the Adelaide Bite in the bottom of the 8th. Now they only need 3 more outs to collect the win, so Steph Welsh missed a clutch right there. single-handedly keeping the Adelaide Bite season going that extra day longer.
I'm sure that people have been tuning into this telecast over the journey of this season would be well and truly sick of me praising that young man up, but I have not one negative thing to say about him. As Paquette sensing the situation and thinking, hey, I might as well get going on a long ball too, has a big swing and a miss. So 2-2 count, 2 out. Adelaide Bite restore a lead. This ball game is 4-2, and Paquette again with a pitch that location saved Kent from a little bit of long ball trauma. As Paquette fouls it to the backstop. So we resume at 2-2. Breaking pitch leaves it up and out. Full count with 2 out. Top 8. And gets one off the end of the bat, and he hits a pop fly to our man Bashini, and he takes the catch, retires the bite, but on another blast from the man they call Welshie, the Adelaide Bite take a 4-2 lead. We'll be back, top 9, the Adelaide Bite, 3 outs away. We'll see you in a moment.
Welcome back to Norwood Oval for the top of the 9th inning, where the Bite have made a pitching change. Andrew Kittredge comes in to replace Dushan Ruzic, who gave a great start of 8 innings. And the closer by committee approach from Bite manager Tony Harris rolls on, with Kittredge getting the opportunity here, and Olsen, who's seemed to have a lock on the closer role in the last couple of months, now finds himself out of favour. But I don't mind this move, Spurler. I think it's a good move.
I think where we are in the season and what this means to Andrew Kittredge and his development, that Tony gave him a little bit of a rest from the closing duties just to settle him down a little bit, and he became the set-up man. But at the end of the day, where we're situated and where his career needs to be, he's got to step back up and take the mantle of the closer, handle the pressure, and simply get the job done. So he's got 2 runs to play with. And he fires in a fastball to even the count at 1-1, top 9. We've seen many a game like this here at Norwood Oval this season. Going right down to the wire. And the catcher, Murphy, hits a fly ball foul that just crosses the line into not fair territory. So although the catch wasn't taken anyway, it wouldn't have mattered whether it was. So with a 1-2 count, Murphy, the catcher for the Cavalry, steps out of the box. Says, hey, don't rush me, kid. The game will finish when it finishes. Doesn't need you quick pitching me. And from the set, Kittredge delivers. Fastball, up and out, ball 2. I hope everyone's enjoying it. And the old Adelaide people have got home and have tuned in late. We snuck 2 in the 8th. It's Kittredge with a slider that worked inside and filled the count. So full count, none out. Cavalry trailing by 2. And that ball is hit hard. And that is a fair ball. Roger, who should have been going all out to stop him from getting second base. He's not enormously quick, Murphy, but he had real intent, desire to leg a double. And sorry, Paquette's gone over to right field. Ben Lodge come into left field. Paquette tried to barehand it, the deflecting ball back into the field of play, and muffed it. Allowed Murphy to roll to second base and get into scoring position. So the Cavalry still well and truly alive.
Yeah, good lead off there from Jack Murphy. He took a few pitches and smashed that ball down the first base line. Ricocheted off the footy fence over there. Back into the field of play. Kittredge, this is his 21st appearance for the season. He's been a great pickup for the Bite. 3-1 win-loss record, ERA of 4.15. 5 saves, 4 holds.
He's throwing a little bit of class there by getting a couple of breaking balls over, just to break things up and find some rhythm with his pitching. So Kittredge to connect, and he's line-driven one to right field. Paquette was, I suppose, with the ball in the air and being shot to the right side, froze a little bit on it. If that ball obviously was caught, he would have had to have hightailed back to second base, so he ran it cautiously. And that puts runners in the corners with none out.
Yeah, it was a nice piece of hitting there from Necht. It was a laser beam to right field as the go-ahead run in Michael Wells comes to the plate. So this game is well and truly alive.
So Olsen just jumped straight in, and there's a tough little shot, but a potential double play. And they take it. Murphy gets home. The Bite. Roll a double play. 2 out. Taking it to a 4-3 ball game. They hold it by 1. And Kittredge with a well-executed pitch on the hands of
Michael Wells. It was almost like a get-out-of-jail-free card there, because we got 2 outs and conceded the run, but now the bases are empty and 1 out away from a much needed win to keep the season going one more day.
So that brings Sloan, and he hits the first pitch and a bit of PFP. And the Adelaide Bite get the job done here in game 1. They take it 4-3. A very, very important win for the Adelaide Bite in the context of their season. And although the congratulations aren't enormous, they know they've got a long way to go. A little bit of a sigh of relief as they stay alive. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. And I thank Ben Dixon for his input all season with the great 10th inning.
A pleasure, mate. Can I give a quick recap while we're here? The best players for tonight. Should we give the best players?
Oh, we could roll on and give some best players.
Yeah, let's give some best players.
Well, I don't think offensively we have to look past Stephen Welsh with a couple of blasts and 3 RBIs and a 4-run game for the Bite.
Yeah, I thought Ruzic was quite good. He's the winning pitcher of record.
Sensational.
8 innings and he's keeping up his form. And I thought Josh Cakebread had a great game with 3 base hits, I reckon, and real solid D. Turned 3 or 4 double plays, I reckon, really smooth. And our favourite player from Canberra with 2 RBIs with a big bomb, Sloaney.
Absolutely.
Sloaney gets an honourable mention, I reckon.
Yeah,
Sloaney.
no, well done, Ben, and well surmised with the game tonight. And
thanks, mate.
Again, it's been a real pleasure having you on board with us, and we will see you when we resume duties next season.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night.